Welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. You know, not that long ago, not that many people were talking about women's basketball. And it might be some of you, not only not talking about it, not watching it, some of you not even aware of it, but right now, people are talking about women's basketball, whether you're talking about the WNBA, the WNBA CBA, whether you're talking about Unrivaled, whether you're talking about Project B, whether you're talking about Athletes Unlimited, whether you're talking now about USA Basketball. USA Basketball just announced the players who will participate in December's training camp. Congratulations to every one of you, because it's an honor to represent your country. Now, we understand that this is training camp and those players will be evaluated. Not everybody's going to make the team. In this video, I'm going to share what USA Basketball had to say. I'm going to talk about those players who are on the list, at least share them with you, those names, and then talk about my opinion about some of those names. And in a separate video, I got to talk about someone whose name is not on the list. I'll get to that in a separate video. For now, let's go over to USA Basketball's announcement at usab.com. So here is that page, and we scroll and we see the headline. USA Basketball Women's National Team announces December training camp. The USA Basketball Women's National Team announced today meaning yesterday, Monday, the 24th, announced the 18 players who will participate in a training camp set for December 12th through the 14th at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina. The camp will feature 2024 Olympic gold medalists Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Brittney Griner, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young. Jerrica Hamby won a 3-on-3 bronze medal at the Olympic Games Paris 2024. Brianna Jones is the 2022 FIBA World Cup champion alongside Copper and Gray, while Plum and Griner are two-time World Cup champions. Aaliyah Boston, who has represented the USA in various junior and senior competitions and camps, is also expected in Durham. 10 players will make their senior national team camp debuts, including Lauren Betts. And you may know Lauren, 6'7" from UCLA. She's a senior. Lauren Betts, Cameron Brink, Paige Beckers, Veronica Burton, Sonia Citron, Caitlin Clark, Kiki Ariafen, Rakia Jackson, Angel Reese, and JuJu Watkins. Betts, Boston, Burton, Jackson, and Reese have competed in the FIBA World AmeriCup, while Betts, Boston, Brink, Beckers, Citron, Clark, and Watkins own gold medals from various junior competitions. Ariafen will make her USA Basketball debut in Durham. It goes on to tell us the players who have participated and won in 3-on-3 competitions. And then it tells us about the coaches. 2025 to 28 USA Basketball Women's National Team head coach Kara Lawson of Duke University will lead training camp. Now, before we talk about her in Duke University, where she currently coaches, you got to take a look at my sweatshirt here, because that's Tennessee Lady Vols, because yes, Kara Lawson played for Coach Pat Summitt, go Vols, back in the day. Anyway, I had to throw that in. You know, she is the head coach. And also you have court coaches assisting. Natalie Nicase of the Valkyries, and of course she won Coach of the Year. You got Nate Tibbetts of Phoenix Mercury. He was swept out of the finals. And of course, Stephanie White of the Indiana Fever. White was the 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year. She was a court coach at the April 2024 Women's National Team's training camp, and also played for the USA at the 1997 Jones Cup and the 1994-95 US Olympic Festivals. And it goes on and on to tell us a little bit more about Coach Stephanie as well as the other coaches. And here we have the last paragraph. USA Women's National Team Managing Director Sue Bird will evaluate players prior to naming a team for the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup, which will take place from September 4th through the 13th, 2026 in Berlin. The USA will seek their 5th consecutive World Cup gold medal. Sue Bird will do the evaluating to determine who's going to make the team. Once again, congratulations to every person who has been invited and has accepted the invitation for the training camp, which is coming up in like 2-3 weeks. Wow. Congratulations. And of course, Caitlin Clark is on the list, and as talented as she is, should be on the list, but also because she draws attention to the sport, it will help grow the game. So that's positive. Remember, they woke a monster. She should have been on the 2024 team in Paris. We know how all that went. I won't relive all that and bring all that up, but I'm just saying they woke a monster. She needs to be on the team. She will be on the team. And that's a good thing. I also have to say that some of the names surprised me. I'll start with what I think is the most obvious, and that's JuJu Watkins. You may recall that JuJu is not participating in the 2025-2026 season for USC, the Trojans, her team, because at the end of last season, she sustained a torn ACL, ugly injury. So she's rehabbing, she's getting better. Why is she showing up for the camp when she can't play in this season for the team she's committed to? I don't understand that. Makes no sense to me. Another one that has me kind of shaking my head is Brittney Griner. She's not a young buck. Brittney Griner is 35. And I'm not saying that if you can play, you shouldn't be able to play. I'm just saying that there are probably some other players who are younger, who are faster, who are more reliable, who aren't 35. And again, I'm not trying to get down with the ageism, but you're trying to build something here. I'm not sure Brittney Griner, and she may not make the team. I don't know. Maybe they want that experience, but and like I said, in a separate video, I will talk about a particular player who's not on this list that had me like, what? And so I can't help but then look at who is on the list and say, well, should they be on the list if this player is not on the list? But we'll get into that. So one of those players is Veronica Burton of the Valkyries. Not that she's not a good player, but is she taking a spot that somebody else should have is worth a conversation. Angel Reese is someone else who kind of has me going, And I say that not that Angel Reese doesn't draw attention, because part of this is marketing. Part of this is having people who want to tune in, and maybe she feels that. I shouldn't even say maybe she feels that. Like there are people who are interested in Angel Reese, even if it's just to spite Caitlin Clark, or so they think. But she also rebounds. You can't take away from that. But she also hasn't finished anything. She didn't finish her rookie season because of injury. She didn't finish Unrivaled because of injury. She didn't finish her second season in the WNBA, reportedly from injury, although I think most of us think it was because she got an attitude because she was suspended. She got in hot water with her team. She had an attitude with the team. She decided not to play. I think most of us. But she's not finished what she started professionally yet. So it kind of makes me wonder. Again, none of these players made the team yet, but they're there. And again, of course, it's an honor to be there. I will say again that I will touch in another video on someone who's not on the list that I think we should address. So we're going to mosey on over to Indiana Fever's X account and see what Indiana posted about this. Indiana Fever higher-ups very rarely, if ever, miss an opportunity to shout out their own. And so we can see right here, on the same day of the announcement, Indiana posted, ready to represent. Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark have been named to the USA Basketball Women's National Team Training Camp roster. Stephanie White will serve as one of the team's court coaches. And as you see, Indiana created a graphic, Team USA Women's National Team Training Camp, We've got Caitlin Clark on the left, Aaliyah Boston on the right, and Stephanie White, court coach, in the center. Congratulations to the Fever Gals. Once again, it's always an honor to be asked to represent your country. And so congratulations, whatever my take is on who should be on the list and who should not be on the list, congratulations for those who are. And we shall see what happens. But again, separate video about someone who is conspicuously missing from the list. I got to give my take on that. I can imagine you might know that person is. You'll see. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.